Hi everybody! So in the last video we talked about technique and how to get our fingers moving and how to play the notes and the rhythms in the right place. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about dynamics and storytelling and how we can make the music really come to life so it doesn't just feel like we're playing note after note after note on the page. So it really feels like we're playing music. And I know that can be hard when we're alone at home with nobody to play with, but in the next video I'm actually going to show you how you can play duets with yourself. And so hopefully that'll cheer you up a little bit. But let's talk about dynamics and storytelling first. So actually I'm going to play through this piece for you, just the bracketed part, so you know what it sounds like. So that's how this sounds like. It's pretty under tempo, but I wanted to slow it down so that we can really talk about those things. So the first thing I notice is that I actually see dynamics written in the page. I see pianissimo, piano, fortissimo, and piano again. When I am learning a new piece, I actually like to write all the dynamics that I see down underneath the page. So I'm going to write them down here on my iPad for you. So we've got pianissimo, and I write them down in order of quietest to loudest. So pianissimo, piano, and double forte. So that's very interesting. There's no mezzo dynamics. There's really soft and really loud in this piece. So that's really good to know. The first thing that I like to do after I've written out those dynamics is assign those dynamics numbers. So the softest number gets the smallest, the softest dynamic gets the smallest number. So I'm going to give pianissimo 1. Then the next dynamic up, I'm going to give 2. And the next dynamic up, I'm going to give 3. So that's how I like to do that to start out. Then I go into the music and find those dynamics. So double P at the beginning, I'm going to give it 1, pianissimo, 2, fortissimo, 3, and then piano again, 2. So that kind of helps me, has anyone asked you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you like something? It kind of helps me give the dynamics a scale. So the softest get 1, and then the loudest get 3 in this case. So that kind of helps me. So I'm going to go through those dynamics as I play and give them a scale from 1, and because there are only 3 dynamics in this piece, to 3. So let's listen to how that makes a difference. So that already made the piece sound quite a bit more interesting than it did the first time. But I still feel like there's something missing. And this is where I like to use storytelling. So I like to section the piece off, either I just use a pencil, or sometimes I use sticky notes on my paper music. Because I have a highlighter here, I'm going to use a highlighter though. I like to section the music off into the different parts that I feel like are represented. So I'm going to start by sectioning off the beginning. From here to here, as you can see where I highlighted. That part to me feels very energetic, like this. And even though it's a double P dynamic, I really want it to have energy and I want it to be full of life. Whenever I'm playing music, I like to think of a character in my head. So what kind of character would be energetic and full of life, but very quiet? Maybe, for this music, maybe it's a fairy. Maybe it's a fairy fluttering around. So I'm going to write at the top of my page, fairy. And you can use your imagination. You might not agree with me. Maybe you think it's a bumblebee, or maybe you think it's a butterfly. But whatever you think it is, write it at the top of your music and see how it makes you feel when you play it. I'm going to play this like a fluttering fairy. made it more interesting. So let's look at the second part now. It's piano. It sounds like this. And that part to me seems to be a little bit more relaxed and, but still happy, relaxed and happy. What's relaxed and happy? You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a panda bear. I feel like panda bears are very relaxed and poised, but very happy. They're not sad or anything. And so I'm gonna write panda at the top of my music for this one and make sure that I highlight it in a different color for you all to see. Let's do blue. So there's the panda music. So I'm gonna play it and feel happy and content, but soft. And then we've got this next part of music. We've got this next bit here. And it's double forte. It's super loud. And I wonder what character would be loud and boisterous. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum. Maybe not boisterous. Maybe it's not boisterous. Maybe it's more loud and professional. Maybe it's regal. Have any of you played Regal March before? It's regal. I'm thinking about this section being a queen or a king or someone of royalty. So that's what I think I'm going to write at the top of this page. I'm going to write queen or king, or just any person of any gender of royalty. So whatever works for you, just put that in your image, put that image in your brain of something regal. Okay, so let's play this with more regal sound. And even though I made one mistake there, I feel like it was more regal. And then we go back to this piano section. I'm gonna highlight that for you in purple. And I don't feel like this part sounds quite like our stoic, happy panda. Let me play it for you. Ooh, sorry. To me, this actually doesn't sound like an animal or a person. It kind of sounds like an emotion. To me, this part kind of sounds like you're thinking about something or questioning. Maybe you're questioning, when will COVID-19 isolation end? And that's kind of what I'm thinking about here in this section. So I'm going to write that down, thinking. So I'm going to play with more of a pensive, a thinking mood. What would it sound like if this music was about thinking? So here it goes. So when I put all of those different characters together, we've got our fairy, we've got our calm, quiet panda, we've got our regal king, queen, or royalty, and we've got this thinking persona. I think it'll sound better to put those all together. The other thing, so let me remind you of what we did. We went through our dynamics and we assigned them numbers to make sure that we were making a difference between our dynamics. And then we went through for each section of the music and gave it a character. So let's hear what that sounds like now. First our fairy, our panda, our royalty, and then our thinking. So that's how I would go through a section of music and work more with musicality once I've gone through and learned all of my technique. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use these different techniques and things that I've used to practice to play with myself in an app called Acapella. See you next time.